A cabbie picks up a nun. The cab driver stares at her. The nun asks him why he is staring, and he says, "I've always had a fantasy to kiss a nun." She says, "I'll kiss you if you are single and Catholic." He replies, "I'm both." The nun says, "Pull into an alley." The nun then kisses him in a way that would make a hooker blush. Back in the cab, though, the driver starts crying. "I'm so sorry." He says, "I lied, I am married and Jewish." The nun says, "That's okay. My name is Kevin, and I am going to a Halloween party." An irate woman burst into the baker's shop and said, "I sent my son in for 2 pounds of cookies this morning, but when I weighed them, there was only 1 pound. I suggest that you check your scales." The baker looked at her calmly for a moment or two and then replied, "Ma'am, I suggest you weigh your son." 2 Alabama state troopers were chasing a suspect on the road toward Georgia. When the suspect crossed the Georgia line, the first trooper pulled over quickly. The rookie trooper pulled in behind him and said, "Hey, Sarge, why did you stop?" The Sarge replied, "He's in Georgia now. They're an hour ahead of us, so we'll never catch him." Ms. Johnson asks her junior high class what body part grows 6 times its size when it gets excited. She calls on Susan, who says, "Ms. Johnson, that is a very inappropriate question to ask girls in this class. My parents will hear about this." She then calls on Jennifer, who says, "The pupil of the eye in dark conditions." "Correct," Ms. Johnson answers. "And Susan, I have 3 things to say to you. First, you clearly didn't read your homework assignment. Second, you have a dirty mind. And third, you're going to be very disappointed in a few years." A man suffered a serious heart attack while shopping in a store. The store clerk called 911 when she saw him collapse to the floor. The paramedics rushed the man to the nearest hospital where he had emergency open heart bypass surgery. He awakened from the surgery to find himself in the care of nuns at the Catholic hospital. A nun was seated next to his bed holding a clipboard loaded with several forms and a pen. She asked him how he was going to pay for his treatment. "Do you have health insurance?" she asked. He replied in a raspy voice, "No health insurance." The nun asked, "Do you have money in the bank?" He replied, "No money in the bank." "Do you have a relative who could help you with the payments?" asked the irritated nun. He said, "I only have a spinster sister and she is a nun." The nun became agitated and announced loudly, "Nuns are not spinsters. Nuns are married to God." The patient replied, "Perfect. Send the bill to my brother-in-law." A married couple takes their son to the circus. After a while, the father gets up to get some popcorn. While he is away, the little boy notices something hanging down between the elephant's legs. "Mommy, what is that hanging down on the elephant?" he asks. The embarrassed mother says, "Oh, that's nothing, honey," and is relieved when the father returns with the popcorn. Not satisfied with the mother's answer, the little boy waits until his mother leaves to use the bathroom and asks his father, "Dad, what is that hanging down between the elephant's legs?" Dad answers, "That's the elephant's wang." The little boy says, "Well, how come when I asked Mom, she said that it was nothing?" Dad leans back and says, "Son, I've spoiled that woman." A guy goes to the supermarket and notices a very attractive woman waving at him. She says, "Hello." He's rather taken aback because he can't place where he knows her from. So he asks, "Do you know me?" To which she replies, "I think you're the father of one of my kids." Now, his mind travels back to the only time he has ever been unfaithful to his wife. So he asks, "Are you the stripper from the bachelor party that I made love to on the pool table with all my buddies watching while your partner whipped my butt with wet celery?" She looks into his eyes and says calmly, "No, I'm your son's 3rd grade school teacher."